What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Panthers advice today, man. Big video. Potentially a new number one receiver, an edge rusher who's proven himself, and great news about Adam Thielen, man. Let's get into it. So first up, when I talk about a new number one receiver, I mean, am I this way? Am I this way? Am I this way? Am I this way? I'm talking about George Pickens, but I actually want to go over here, to be honest. All right. George Pickens, there's some up and there's some down with him. All right. And if you look at the film, you're going to see, man, there's a lot of upside. All right. Now, if you're worried about the downside, I get it, especially when we just had Deontay Johnson. But something I do bring up, all right, and I kind of debate with myself too, is if you look at our receivers, I mean, who's our one? All right. You got Leggett. I don't know that he's a one yet. There is potential. All right. You got Moore. Not a number one. All right, who else we got? Adam Thielen. No, he's not a number one. You got Coker. I think Coker's a perfect number two, but we don't have a number one receiver. And look at our offense last year, what we did kind of the back half of the season. With Coker, Adam Thielen, Moore, and Leggett. If you let Bryce get a number one receiver, right, let him get some weapons, this man would be cooking. All right. Now, let's talk about Deontay Johnson. Let's be real about this, all right? Is he a number one receiver? To me, the answer is yes because of today's NFL. All right, and just this right here, man, just the speed off the line. You got man-to-man coverage right there. And watch this. He's going to grab the ball, never puts his hands up. The DB doesn't even know the ball is there. All right, George Pickens, to me, he kind of fits the team, all right? Not saying... Let me make this clear. I'm not saying he's the perfect kind of team guy, but what I'm saying is his athleticism is second to none. All right. Trevin Wallace, one of the most athletic guys, probably why the Panthers reached on him a little bit, according, to a majority. Some people may not agree with it, but according to a majority, the Panthers reached on him. All right. Panthers took Jatavion Sanders. Why? Because he's that new athletic tight end in today's era. George Pickens probably isn't a number one receiver if you go back 10, 15 plus years ago. But because the way the NFL is kind of stronghold of the cornerbacks and defense, to me, he's easily a number one corner. I mean, if you just watch him on film, you're going to see there's really nothing that this man can't do. And we're going to look at the negatives, don't get me wrong, all right? Because I said the same thing about Deontay Johnson, right? Where there's a lot of positives, but there's also a lot of negatives, and let's look at that real quick. But, I mean, you can't deny the film, all right? He's going to catch it at the 5, take it to the 50, catch it at the 50, take it, to the end zone. But let's look at some negatives real quick. And not negatives, let's just call them kind of bad situations he put himself in. Let's start this real quick. So the first clip we're going to look at is this right here. All right, this is really what put him out there. He played at Georgia. But this right here is like, okay, George Pickens, he's different. So that was in college, right? He didn't get suspended after that. Then go to 2023. Blindside hit and taunting. All right, he gets fined in 2023 after they beat the Rams. Okay, not done yet. Unsportsmanlike conduct in 2023 versus the Bengals. 2 months later, Pickens was hit with another fine for unsportsmanlike conduct. He lost out on $17,000 essentially. $17,000. Man. Now, let's keep it going. What else do we have from George Pickens? This was an interesting one, all right, because he had on the tape, open effing always. I mean, he got fined for that, I believe, and then he also got fined when he grabbed the face mask of Jordan Lewis, who was kind of taunting him, and he just reached out, grabbed the face mask. Now, let's have an honest discussion real quick. Do I want George Pickens on the team? The answer off the rip is no. But I believe that if he were to be on the team, he would realize that Dave and Dan and everybody else in that front office brand, they don't play around, right? If you're not going to do your part, you're gone. I mean, look at Caleb Chazon, right? I think that's how you say his name. 1 week till the season started, and they said you're gone. My boy, TMJ didn't want to do special teams. You're gone. All right, who else? Oh, Deontay Johnson. Middle of the season. Panthers really only offensive threat receiving-wise at the time. Coker was starting to come through. But at the time, Deontay Johnson was that guy for the Panthers, and they said, you're gone. So, off the rip, I say no to him being on the team. All right. However, if Dan and Dave do grab him, I got to believe that something would change. All right. And he's seen what happens if you act like you don't want to be a part of the team. You're gone. So, the answer off the rip is no, but I'm not completely opposed to it, if that makes sense. Let me know your thoughts. Now let's talk about some potential edge help for the Carolina Panthers, and that is Myles Garrett. He wants to be traded from Cleveland. This guy right here on the outside. This beast right here. This right here is the first time I've seen a spin move in 2 years. All right? Because if you watch the Panthers edge guys, if you watched them this past year, it was the same thing. All right, basically just a speed rush to the outside every single time. You know, I won't say I was the biggest Brian Burns fan, but I did like Brian Burns, and he was nasty with the spin move. And if you watch Myles Garrett right here, the tackle thinks he has him beat to the outside, bang, spin move. Gotcha. All right, gotcha. Now, back to Myles Garrett, all right, and the Panthers. Is it likely? The first part is going to be, who do they give up? All right. Can they give up enough pieces other than, the first round 8th pick? Probably going to have to be first and second round, and then throw something else on top of that. But, man, would he change things right away for the Panthers. I mean, you have him, all right? Have Cam real quick. You got him. Clowney, I think, would improve as well. Derek Brown, DJ Wanham, A'Shawn Robinson. Man. Ooh, that would be nasty. Now, is it likely? The reason I hope it's likely, before we read the article real quick, the reason I hope it's likely is because I trust the Panthers drafting. Some of you guys might want the Panthers to get younger, and, that crossed my mind too. But as I think about it, I'm like, okay, give the first 2 picks, and I see, okay, we're drafting from the 3rd round on. I see what the Panthers did in the draft last year. 1 through 7, to me, they may not have hit completely, but they're all potential good players in the NFL. They didn't hit this year per se, let's say on Leggett, let's say Brooks, because of injuries and kind of throwing Leggett in there pretty quick, right? Because if you look at it, Leggett really wasn't supposed to be in there, right? You had Deontay Johnson, you had Adam Thielen, supposed to start ahead of him, all right? Both those guys go down, all right? One gets traded, one gets hurt. You're throwing Leggett in there, and he's just not ready. I think there is potential for him. Brooks, you saw flashes before he got hurt. So you look at him, Trevin Wallace, same thing. Josie Jewell gets hurt. Shaq Thompson gets hurt. Everybody got hurt on the defense side of the ball. Then you throw in Trevin Wallace. Man, and you got Shaw Smith-Wade. I mean, he was just as good as everyone else, excluding Mike and J.C. Horn. I don't think Shaw Smith-Wade played any worse than any of the other veterans. So to me, they hit, to be honest with you. And so if you get Myles Garrett, I still think you can get another edge rusher or 2 in the 3rd or 4th round. I trust, whether it's Brant, Dan, or Dave, whoever is, in charge of drafting, I trust them. Now let's look at the article real quick, kind of see what it says. This is real today, man. The Carolina Panthers own the number 8 overall pick in this year's draft, and while not many see them as a contender, they are a team that could be on the rise. Okay, I like it. Bryce Young made significant improvements last year, enough to warrant the notion that Carolina could have their franchise quarterback. Would the Panthers be able to do enough in a short amount of time to be considered a real contender? That seems unlikely, but that number 8 overall pick would be very tough to refuse if you're Cleveland. All right. Negotiating a trade for Garrett would be difficult enough. Convincing the Texas A&M product that this is a project-ready team, right, to contend for the playoffs or Super Bowl. Garrett is also still playing better than almost anyone. He's not getting any younger, so any trade would need his seal of approval. So it sounds like he's got that player's option on that trade clause. So is it possible that the Panthers get him? I think it's possible. How likely is it? It just depends, right? What do the Browns want? Do they want draft picks? Do they want players? If they want draft picks, I'm not going to say we're in the front seat, but I think we're close, right? So if we're on a roller coaster, I don't think we're sitting in the back. I think we're in the front. enough, you put your hands up, you're going to be on camera, right? I think we're in that kind of that third, fourth row, give or take. Let me know your thoughts. But to me, that's definitely good news about Myles Garrett, because if the Browns want draft picks and Myles Garrett thinks that we might have a shot, who knows? Let's keep it going, though. Because next up is our boy Adam Thielen on returning for the 2025 season. I'm excited. Now, some people have been like, Adam Thielen's getting a little bit up there in age. I kind of want to go younger. We're going to go over that in a second. Let's talk about the article real quick and see what Adam Thielen has to say. I think I still have some more football in me. I think that's what has enticed me to want to play again. It's just the progression, the leadership, the type of things that they're doing to try to create a winning culture. I really believe in what they're doing. So there's a lot to look forward to, especially with Bryce and his progression. Okay, Adam, a little compliment to Bryce there. And then, just being able to add some pieces and see what happens. Add some pieces and see what... Does Adam know something that we don't know? Adam says, add some pieces and see... Is Adam onto something there, man? He might be. Adam might have said something right there. Being able to add some pieces and... Man. But with all that being said, let me show you why. Let me show you why Adam Thielen is still a very important part to this offense. First play we're going to look at right here. This was against the cover 2. Mingo does a good job actually running the post. And let me touch on something real quick. Going back to Leggett, all right? Leggett was supposed to sit behind Mingo, Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen. He was supposed to be number 4 technically. All 3 of those guys, if I'm not mistaken, weren't playing at one time. So then they basically shot him up to the front, and we saw what happened. So no excuses for Leggett, but I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of perspective. But back to Adam Thielen, man. Right here against the Bucs, you see the safety drop down that cover 3. And just look how patient he is, all right? He sees the hole right there in that cover 3, basically running almost that kind of seam post route. And he doesn't overrun, right? He sees Bryce kind of scramble. Take a look right here. Bryce is going to drop back. Gets a little bit of pressure up the front, steps into the pocket, and look at Thielen. Making an easy throw for Bryce. Bryce did a great job stepping into the pocket, but that's what you have to like. And then right here gets the Eagles. Bryce is going to drop back, roll to the right a little bit. Adam Thielen once again. And all these catches, all the catches I put in here are 20-plus yard catches, right? These aren't... Come on, man. I mean, come on, man. Look at this. Little fake screen wheel right there. Adam Thielen, man. These are all 20-plus yard catches. He had a lot more, but I'm showing you he's not just a 5-yard catch guy. All right, these are 20-plus yard catches. And then right here, Adam Thielen is a very, very, very important part to this offense. Woo-hoo! You got to love it, man. I think that might be the last one. All right, no, we got one more against the Falcons. Let's take a look. Come on, man. And you guys think that Adam Thielen might not be it because he's getting older? I mean, did you see the catches? So, with that being said, man, let's jump to question of the day. Question of the day is this, all right? Will a Panther make a Pro Bowl this year as far as 2025, 2026? And I actually meant to say, will a Panthers receiver make a Pro Bowl this upcoming year? Let me know your thoughts on who you think it might be. Who's going to be a receiver that makes the Pro Bowl? Thielen, Coker, Moore, Leggett, a rookie? Let me know in the comments. That's going to wrap it up. Panthers Advice is out. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, man. Peace.